For millions of viewers, Jimmy Fallon is a nightly source of laughter, charm, and offbeat musical sketches. As the host of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, he has solidified his place among late-night royalty. But what if the road that led Fallon to 30 Rockefeller Plaza had forked elsewhere? What if Jimmy Fallon had never become a comedian, a Saturday Night Live legend, or the host of one of television's most iconic shows? This isn't a hypothetical pulled from thin air. Jimmy Fallon himself recently revealed that he had the opportunity to pursue entirely different paths that could have steered his life away from comedy and entertainment altogether. In a candid and reflective conversation, Fallon opened up about his early days, the unexpected career offers that came his way, and how a few decisions made in his youth could have radically altered the pop culture landscape we know today. It turns out that before he ever stood behind a desk or impersonated rock stars on stage, Fallon was at a crossroads. Several crossroads, in fact. From Socrates to stardom. To understand how surprising these alternate career paths are, we have to go back to the beginning. James Thomas Fallon was born on September 19, 1974 in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in the small town of Socrates, in upstate New York. As a child, he was obsessed with Saturday Night Live. Like many kids growing up in the 80s and 90s, Fallon would stay up late with his sister to watch SNL, then reenact the sketches for their parents the next day. But his love for comedy was matched by another interest: computers. In interviews over the years, Fallon has mentioned his early fascination with technology and programming. He often tinkered with computers, considered going into computer science, and even enrolled as a computer science major when he first entered the College of St. Rose in Albany. But while computer science may have been his declared major, the pull of comedy was strong and persistent. It was at college that he first began performing stand-up. While other students were focused on labs and coding, Fallon spent his nights doing open mics and working on impressions. Eventually, he shifted majors to communications, a move that brought him one step closer to show business. But it wasn't an obvious path. And, according to Fallon, there were serious offers that could have taken him in completely different directions. I got offers. Recently, while appearing on a podcast interview, Fallon shared a surprising tidbit. He had received legitimate offers for jobs outside of comedy, some of which could have led to careers in technology, education, or even the corporate world. I got offers from a couple tech companies after college, Fallon said. I was good at it. I mean, I wasn't a genius coder, but I understood how things worked, and I loved building stuff. He went on to explain that after switching majors, he still maintained close ties with friends in the computer science department. They were getting hired left and right, Fallon recalled. And some of them pulled strings and said, "Hey, we can get you in." There were moments where I thought, should I just take the job? It's not difficult to imagine a version of Fallon working for a tech startup in the early 2000s, perhaps even helping to build some of the very platforms that fans now use to share his show's most viral moments. One offer, in particular, came from a New York-based tech firm that was developing web applications for educational institutions. It was stable, Fallon noted. It was a paycheck. And my parents would have loved it. But I just had this itch. I kept thinking, if I don't at least try comedy, I'll regret it. A detour into ministry? In what might be the most surprising revelation of all, Fallon also considered the priesthood. Yes, Jimmy Fallon, altar boy, potential man of the cloth. In earlier interviews, including a well-known segment with NPR's Fresh Air, Fallon spoke of his deep Catholic upbringing. He served as an altar boy for years, and was deeply moved by the sense of community and joy he felt in church. There was a time when I seriously thought about becoming a priest, Fallon said. It felt like the right thing to do. I admired the priests I knew. They were kind, funny, good people. It wasn't just a passing idea. Fallon was, by his own account, deeply religious as a teen. It wasn't just that I liked the rituals or the songs, he said. It was that I felt something. I felt connected. Ultimately, however, the calling of comedy proved louder than the call to ministry. But the earnestness with which Fallon still talks about the church is evident. He often credits those early experiences with helping him develop his stage presence and ability to connect with people. I think about it sometimes, Fallon admitted. What kind of priest would I have been? Would I have told jokes during Mass? The moment everything changed. Fallon's decision to move to Los Angeles to pursue comedy full-time was the turning point. With just a small suitcase and a few $100s, he began doing open mic nights at the Laugh Factory and the Improv. His stand-up routines, filled with spot-on impressions of celebrities, musicians, and cartoon characters, caught the attention of talent scouts. In 1998, he auditioned for Saturday Night Live and failed to make the cut. But he didn't give up. He returned the following year with new material, and nailed it. Fallon was hired as a cast member at age 23, and his life changed forever. His time on SNL was defined by unforgettable impersonations, Barry Gibb, Adam Sandler, Jerry Seinfeld, musical comedy, and a boyish charm that often led to breaking character mid-sketch. Fallon was especially beloved for his musical bits with castmate Horatio Sanz, and for his rapport with Tina Fey on Weekend Update. By the time he left SNL in 2004, Fallon was a household name. From Fever Pitch to Flop, and back again. Fallon's post-SNL film career was rocky. His first major movie role, opposite Queen Latifah in 2004's Taxi, was panned by critics. Fever Pitch fared better, thanks in part to Drew Barrymore's star power, and the unique backdrop of the Boston Red Sox's legendary 2004 season, but it didn't make Fallon a breakout film star. "I didn't know what I wanted to do next," he admitted in a retrospective interview. "I was kind of lost." That uncertainty led to a period of personal reflection, and once again, a few interesting career offers. According to Fallon, during this lull in his acting career, he was approached about potentially working in music full-time. Record labels were interested in leveraging his musical parodies, and even floated the idea of a comedy album. Fallon had already dabbled in music on SNL, and had developed a loyal following for his guitar-based impressions of Bob Dylan and Neil Young. But just as he was beginning to consider pivoting to music, he got a call that would change everything. NBC wanted him to consider hosting Late Night. The reluctant host. "I didn't think I was right for it," Fallon said about being offered the late night hosting gig in 2009. "I wasn't political, I wasn't edgy. I just wanted to be silly." NBC executives, however, saw something different. They saw Fallon as the perfect antidote to the snark and cynicism that had come to dominate late-night television. With his musical sketches, celebrity games, and digital savvy, Fallon breathed new life into the format.